When we were tasked with responding to the required readings related to Project One in our first forum, Nichols' depth of expertise at the very bottom of the list immediately caught my eye. And as I was reading it, ideas began to formulate within my mind about how I can connect this and then expand on it. I wanted to get a good head start, so I spent a good amount of time on this concise response. Much of my project grew around the idea that I had initially stated. All I did was basically observe some key quotations within the article, and then the ideas began to flow. Arguably, the most important aspect of any paper or project is its purpose. Why am I writing this, or rather, what is the argument that I am attempting to portray? This is something that I felt like I did a good job at conveying. I not only attempted to concisely convey my argument in an effective opening statement, but I also supported it with a strong foundation and multiple sources. I felt that the strongest piece of my project was when I connected Nichols's work to Konnikava's Psychological of Online Comments. I felt like my ideas were stated clearly in the beginning, but it was only when I connected it to a broadened concept, such as interconnectivity, um, and its relationship to communication, that I felt like I fully succeeded in my work. Konnikava's article was integral to the success of my project, and there is a lot to thank for that. Dylan, fellow member of our class in one of our response forums, actually suggested that I expand on what I had already worked on with the Psychological of Online Comments article. Interestingly enough, even though I felt like my initial work was fundamental to my project, it it felt somewhat distant to the main purpose of my project. Looking back, I felt like I might have needed to expand on Nichols's concept of misinterpreted political ideas so it didn't feel so alone or isolated to the rest of my paper. This is something that I struggled with. I also struggled with the task of conciseness to some degree. My project is no doubt one of the shorter ones, be it that it just breached the word limit, but that was kind of my intent. I felt that as I was connecting my initial ideas towards the later half of my project, that my argument was made very clear. I had stated, and to my knowledge, effectively supported my argument with adequate sources. That was the goal of this project, and I felt like I achieved such. So, kind of as a summary, I would say that I had both good and bad areas of my project. I think I stated and supported my argument concisely. However, I also struggled in doing so. I think the weakest point of my project was the concept of Nichols's work and my ability to center around its main purpose and then to expand on that. I think that's something that I can work on and that I will expand on in my future projects.